Well, something happened here. I figured something out. Kind of told everyone something that was not 100% accurate. So embarrassing. Well, at least let me come clean about it. Let me talk about it. Let me explain everything. I did a mastering video recently, and I went through a whole lot of ways of how independent musicians can master their own music. And I stand by a majority of everything that I was talking about on there. But there was one key setting that was on the compressor that I should have done a little bit more research into and should have figured it out a little bit better. I'd been doing it a certain way for a long period of time, and now that I've learned about this, I'm going to be doing this from now on. I at least want to share it with everyone out there, show you my mistake, and it's not a huge difference, really. Well, it is. I mean, it makes a difference. That's the thing. If you're mastering, it makes a difference. So it's not massive. Most people probably wouldn't notice it, but another mastering engineer or another mixer, hopefully the people that are watching this are the ones who are probably going to notice. I'm going to call myself out, and I want to show you what I found. Let me know what you think about it. So here we go. Here's that same song, Glowing, which I've worked on. It's a duo project. I think it's a great song. Yeah, if you want to check it out, just go ahead. It's out there on Bandcamp, all that kind of stuff. It's the Aurelia Drift is the name of the group. Please definitely check it out. So let's get on to the setting. It is the SSL Bus Compressor 2. The big setting in here, let's pull it up, is the attack setting. When I was talking about it before, I'd had it down to 1 millisecond. And what happens is with an attack that's real fast like that, it can basically tame the peaks, the sound real quick. But what it does is that it kind of sacrifices a little bit of the punchiness to the sound. So the better way of doing it is to reduce it. I went down, I tried between 1 millisecond, I tried 10, I tried 20, and then I tried 30. The setting that I'm preferring right now is 30. It relaxes the compressor, it lets the transients through at the very beginning, and then it'll clamp down on everything. So it adds to, it doesn't take away the initial attack and punch and everything that happens, where it's a much more controlled sound if you do a slower attack, which is 1 millisecond. But at the same time, you lose some of the liveliness to it, to the sound, some of the punchiness. I like it punchy. Let's keep that in there. So what I did is I did 2 different settings. I did the unmastered track at the top, and then I exported it, one with a 1 millisecond setting, one with a 30 millisecond setting. Again, this is kind of subtle for most listeners, but if you've got your ears tuned for this kind of stuff and this is what you're here for, you'll hear the difference. At least I was able to. So let's go through the track, and that's solo back and forth. At the top is the 1 millisecond attack, and at the bottom track, when that's highlighted, that is the 30 millisecond attack. Let me know if you hear the difference, and let me know what you think in the comments, which one you prefer. I prefer the 30 now. Please, for that video, I'm not going to redo it because a lot of the information is correct, but the attack, 30 milliseconds, is a better, more recommended setting. Again, you can do whatever you want. You can change it however you want, but I think it sounds a little more punchy and lively. So I will be doing it from now on. I learned something. Listen to it. Let me know if you hear the difference here. There's going to be 2 different files here. Let me know which one you think. We'll start with the first one. And I'll start it in the chorus and play it there. Let's walk to what's open to look at all the little things. We sit down, then talk some until we both started to think. Okay, let's switch to the next one. Let's walk to what's open to look at all the little things. We sit down, then talk some until we both started to think. Let's take this. So Could you hear a difference? I could. Now, here's the thing. If you're listening on a phone, no, you're not going to hear jack. You need to be listening with headphones or studio speakers. Whenever possible, if you want to hear the sound of everything and the full mix, always at least do headphones and decent quality headphones. Of course, studio headphones like these, like the Audio-Technicas, M50s, these are awesome, by the way, are great. I mean, AirPods, they sound pretty good, and other things like that. So, highly recommended for headphones, at least. If you could hear the difference between there, I'm going to move to the chorus, or at least somewhere around that, so you can hear the difference there as well, too. What the setting is on the bus compressor. Now, when I was doing it, I was talking about all the different settings, threshold, release, I set to auto, I'm sticking with that. Now the attack I had at 1 millisecond. What problem is when you have the attack at 1 millisecond, it clamps down on the transients very quickly. And what that does is it kind of sacrifices the transients coming out of the song, which takes away the liveliness and the punchiness, which is what I was talking about before, which you're trying to glue the mix. What I did is I compared the two, 1 millisecond, and I compared it to 30 millisecond, which is a lot of recommendations out there for 30 milliseconds for gluing the mix. And you know what? It's right. It's I listened to the sound, and it just sounds punchier because those transients come through at the very beginning, and you still get the compression, you still get the gluing, but you still retain that sound. So from now on, that's what I'm doing. 30 milliseconds, I'll do 30 milliseconds. A release is still going to be auto. Threshold, turn it back. The same thing that I was talking about before, turn it back until you get 1 to 4 dB of reduction. So it's kind of subtle. All the stuff you want to keep subtle. Listen to the chorus part and see if you can hear the difference between the two. We will start with the 1 millisecond attack. Take me into yours. Yeah, I feel everything. We keep feeling the room starts glowing. I think it was just fate. I knew it right from the start. Okay, now that's solo the 30 millisecond, and I'm gonna go a little farther in the track here this time on the chorus. I think it was just fate. I knew it right from the start that this would be true. You were the missing part. I felt it when you looked at me. Do you hear it? It's the drums and the guitar. Mainly, you hear the punchiness, the sound. It comes through. And again, it's kind of subtle, but if you're a mastering engineer or mixer, you're going to hear the difference in there. The whole thing for this is, yes, a lot of the settings were pretty accurate, but the attack, change it from 1 millisecond and make it a lot slower. 30 seems to be pretty nice. This is how you learn. You figure stuff out. You try things out. You actually do them instead of reading about them and watching them and stuff like that. Go through and do the same thing yourself. A/B this stuff. Figure this out. This is how you learn, is by actually doing. I want to say thank you all for giving me a little bit of your time today, and I hope that you learned something important here. Like I said, attack is a very important setting on the compressor, I've learned. So, hey, we all make mistakes, it's what happens. And that's how you figure out what to do next. So I'll be doing this from now on. So if you hear my mixes being a lot punchier, you'll know what's going on. All right. Well, y'all take care. I'll see y'all later, and have a wonderful day.